What's up, everybody? My name is Steven Schultz. I am one of the hosts of We Don't Know Toots, and joining me is my co-host and brother from the same mother, Rob Schultz. What's going on, brother?
Oh, it's going on. It is going on.
Right on, dude. So today, ladies and gentlemen, this is a childhood band of mine and Rob's, and I mean childhood band for a lot of people. A Day to Remember, still out here
Huh?
making music.
We agreed
What?
we were doing the ghost towns.
No,
Bro.
bro. No. Read the text. Let's see here. I said the Ghost album. Wait, that's the first text I texted.
I guess we weren't very specific. You said,
Yeah, I said I didn't really have an opinion either way. The ADTR would get more listens probably, but Ghost Towns is new to us. Let's do that tomorrow night. So I said,
yeah, I did not get very specific. You, I just kind of went
I
off of the ghost towns is new to us, so that sounded like something you were more interested in. So all I said was, let's do that.
Okay, here's what we can do, Rob. I think we should still carry on. I'll give a synopsis of the ADTR, and you give Ghost Towns because it's a new format. There we go. It's
Oh
just a
my
new.
word, dude! I didn't like the ghost towns thing was more your thing. So like I have the
Yeah.
notes, but it wasn't my kind of music, so like I didn't have a ton to say. I was hoping to
Oh boy.
mostly ride your wave.
Ugh.
That's crazy.
What do you want to do right now?
I listened to the Day to Remember album like twice.
Yeah, I took note. I've got notes of it.
Oh,
It's
what we can do, you got the notes, so we'll go off of you and I'll have it playing in my earbud here and
okay.
we'll do a live reaction mixed with a well-studied, thoughtful note-taking reaction.
Alrighty.
Because
Here we go.
I always get these thoughts going in my head. I'm like, okay, this is what this song makes me think. So like as I'm listening, I'll kind of remember what I was thinking back when I first listened, and then I'll just tell you what I'm thinking as we go. So I guess a day to
All right.
remember it is.
Sorry, dude. I guess when I said it'll get us more clicks, I guess that's why I thought, okay, that's
Because we
probably what
always
he
get so many
wants.
clicks. That's what we're doing it for.
Yeah,
Our
well,
massive popularity.
I just figured it would get us more random people. But if any,
Well, here we
all
go.
right.
All right. A Day
Here
to
we go.
Remember's big ol' album Vol.1 is what we were always intending to do.
Our absolute favorite album. Do you want me to restart or are we just going
No,
right
no,
into
no, no,
this?
no. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
All right. All right. Here we go. A
I
day
will
to.
say, as far as the Day to Remember is concerned, this wasn't like I didn't like love this album. The last two albums have kind of been meh
No.
for me. I don't know if you listened to that album
Yeah.
came out a couple years ago, but
I probably did, but.
since what was their album before that? The Bad Vibrations album.
Yeah.
Like that one was a banger for me. But since then, they're You're Welcome and now their big ol' album Vol.1. That was it hasn't hit the same spot for me. I will say that
Yeah.
right out the gate.
It's. Yeah. So I listened to it when it first. I listened to the big old album when it first came out.
Mm,
And I was like, all right, yeah. But I was kind of listening to it while doing stuff. So
yeah.
I'll be honest. I've given it a couple more listens, but also while doing stuff. But today, listening through it, or when I was taking notes, listening through it, and I'm like, yeah, this wasn't their best one. It
I,
definitely wasn't. So,
like I think maybe it's just because I've kind of grown out of it. Because like it does sound like an A Day to Remember album. Like their sound hasn't changed all that much. They've always kind of sounded. Might have been heavier in the past, but in general they have more or less sounded the same. So maybe I'm just kind of growing out of A Day to Remember. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know.
that's kind of the feeling I was getting as I'm listening to this, and like I'm typing the notes out, and I'm like, man, these notes are making it seem like I've definitely grown out of A Day to Remember. It's kind of the feeling I was getting where I'm like, I think I've kind of gone past their music
Yeah.
style a little bit
And like
because I used to think they were like really good.
yeah, I
Like
mean
I'm like,
they
this is a
definitely
great
have some
band.
really solid albums
Yeah,
and some
yeah,
solid songs.
but then I'm listening to these songs. I'm like, man, these songs like the lyrics are kind of corny in a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, But we'll get into that. I'm gonna be honest though, that is kind of my overall impression of the album is it's just all right. It's
There were
you know,
songs that I did like, nothing that I saved, but
yeah,
like I said, I've
yeah,
only listened to it twice, and, like, I'm
yeah,
more of someone that saves songs later down the road, but, like and it's weird because like, I'm definitely much more into heavy music, than I was back when I was really
true.
getting into music, back when we were kids or
Yeah,
whatever, but, like, this
yeah,
is more like, this isn't like, I even hesitate to call it metalcore because it's more of like, easy core is what they've always been. Like, I remember back in the day, like, their marketing was the heaviest pop punk band, and they had, like, pictures of like, animated pictures of them as, like, really big fat guys. So they're not, like, metal, although they have some, like,
yeah,
really heavy riffs in this album, but
yeah,
so it almost seems like something that should click with me, but at the same time doesn't. That's all I'm gonna say to preface this album. Let's get into it.
yeah. So, and speaking of, songs I really liked when I was a kid, I think "Make It Make Sense." That's the opening song on the album. Is definitely like right up that alley for me. Like
Yeah.
right at the beginning, it's that intro and it goes blast 'em.
Yeah.
Like me in high school, like I would have been like, yeah, I am very cool for having listened to this song,
Right.
and playing this song out loud makes me even cooler. So that's I don't know. It like it's what I expected as an intro to after listening to this album and then listening to it again. I'm like, yeah, that's the intro I would expect to this album. It starts off heavy and high energy, and it's
Yeah.
got kind of that I don't know, like that rock with that. They have a couple songs on here where they have like that one liner. Like there's another one where it's like I don't ever remember what it says, but it's something like "break the chain" kind of vibe, and then
Yeah,
breaks down
they
again.
always have good little one-liners right before their breakdown. Dude, I just saw a video the other day. What was it? Oh man, I just saw a video. I should have sent it to you because it was like one of their most popular breakdowns. Um, maybe it was from I don't want to just sit here and like scroll through their whole discography, but like it was one of their most popular breakdowns. And oh yeah, it was the disrespect your surroundings.
Yeah.
Right before the breakdown, and I forget, but apparently he got that from maybe Lamb of God? Like
Oh.
someone else had, like, written that as, like, a prelude to their breakdown and then decided they weren't gonna use it, so Jeremy, the lead singer of A Day to Remember, he texted the guy and was like, "Hey, if you're not gonna use that, can I use it?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, we're not gonna use it." And then it made it into there, so,
Oh, nice,
like, one of
because
their
that's a
best
pretty
breakdowns. A little bit of A
yeah.
Day to Remember lore there.
I remember that, when we saw them live.
Mhm. That was a fun show. That was a
That
good
was a
time.
fun show. Dude, that concert was really cool. That's something I gotta get back to. That was just a fun summer. Like, it was great because, like, it was super cool because it was at a really cool place, so, like, during
Mhm.
the bands you really didn't care about, gotta go see some cool stuff, got some
Which
tattoos.
for the listeners, yeah, it was the Mansfield
Oh,
Reformatory, which is where they filmed Shawshank
incarceration.
Redemption. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Inkcarceration Festival, they did tattoos inside the prison cells and then had the stages set up out on the lawn. That was a pretty cool day.
yeah. It's a 3-day festival. It's usually rock and heavy metal.
Mhm.
And we only went the one day, but it was great because they actually had a pretty solid lineup the day we went. Got to
Yeah.
see Lit or LAT. I never know if
I
it's
think it's lit.
some.
I've always
Okay,
called
I
them
hear
lit.
people say LAT sometimes,
It
but
is
yeah,
in
they
all
had
caps,
Lit
but I
there.
always call them lit.
Yeah, but and then it was also like the first concert me and you had gone to together that wasn't like 2.5 hours away from our house,
Yeah.
so we weren't like just dead tired trying to get home.
Right.
I remember being like getting home and being like, "Oh my goodness, I'm still like wide awake." That was
Yeah.
incredible.
Like, the night's still young,
Yeah.
except
So,
that we both had
but
fresh tattoos.
exactly. So now I was old. I was a man when I returned from that festival. That's why it was so memorable.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I thought the lyrics of the song were kind of lame, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but as regarding the preludes to their breakdowns, I like the I don't wanna nee 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 nee. I like
Yeah.
I wish they I maybe I'm as I'm listening to this song, I'm realizing that maybe the reason it doesn't click as actual heavy music for me is because like they don't do as much screaming as they used to, at least not on this song, and I'm sure I'll recant that as we get further into it, but, like, he does a lot of, like, yelling, but there's not actual, like,
Yeah.
screaming, and that's kinda what, like,
This
breaks it in my mind as not truly heavy music.
yeah.
Even though
This
the
album
riffs and the
stays
breakdowns are pretty good, but it's just
yeah.
they don't go all the way, you know?
It stays pretty light on the screaming, and it
Yeah.
stays more yelling throughout the song, but there are a couple songs where it's more screamy, but, yeah, so that's my opinions on the first song. Second song is Feedback. This one, and I can't totally ask you your opinion, but for me, this one was just not it. Like, I really like the opening. It starts off really great with the
Yeah, it does. That's
high
a good
energy
little riff
guitar
right at the
work.
beginning.
Yeah, and you just start jamming, and even with the first verse, you're like, yeah. But then just the whole rest of the song is just them saying that feedback line like a million times. They just go, I want to hear
Oh,
your
yeah.
feedback, feedback. I want to let you go. And then like that's all they say. Like it felt like the whole last half of the song, and I was like, all right. It just felt really repetitive. Like they said it 1,000 times, and then they're like, great, good, the song's done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, as I'm listening
I
to
thought,
it, like, the really only good part is that riff that they have in the beginning, they repeat it a couple
yeah,
times, and yeah, I remember not being
yeah,
blown away by this one again. I think this was, like, the second song and is when I realized, okay, this isn't, like, the A Day to Remember album for me.
yeah. So it's I don't know, it feels like a pretty regular song if you listen to it, like a pretty there's a lot of these songs that do feel like typical ADR, but new. I don't know if that makes sense,
Oh,
like
I just got to the part where, like, right before the breakdown hold on. Yeah, they have, like, the little,
yeah,
like, choral part, and then he just goes, "Peace," into the breakdown. That's corny. That doesn't work for me. I
yeah,
think they were trying to do something cool there, and it did not work. But then they dropped the
yeah,
F-bomb
it's
halfway through the breakdown, so we're back.
yeah, so, I don't know, yeah, meh, but that's all I've got for that one, that's I feel like I'm gonna get a little
This one was not a standout for sure.
yeah, but I don't know if you remember the next song, "El Bad Blood,"
So,
but
yeah,
it's a good it
I just started listening to it. I do like the little, like, mute muffled screams in the back right before the music kicks in. Makes you think it's
yeah,
actually gonna be a heavy song.
it's a good song. It's got a really good breakdown in this song, but it, like, halfway through the song, like, you don't really expect it. It, like, totally changes, like I guess I gotta make better notes then if since you
Yeah,
actually don't know what I'm
you're
talking about.
carrying this episode here, pal.
Yeah, dude. But, like, halfway through the song, like, it stays, like, a pretty not chill song, but, like, just them doing the classic verses and chorus, and then it has this heavy breakdown and totally changes, like, the vibe of the song halfway through, and I was not expecting it at all. I'm trying to find where it has that turn. It might yeah,
Okay, yeah,
around,
right
like, the
around the 2-minute
2:10.
mark.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
it
that's a
just
good
stays like that
breakdown.
the rest of the
I like
yeah.
that. See,
I wasn't
when they
expecting that at
actually do
all.
the screaming, it works so much better. That just works better.
Yeah, like, every time they, like, did the screaming, it just took me back to, like it just reminds me of old ATR, and it, like, gives me, like, flashbacks back to when I was, like, listening to them as my high school
Yeah.
basketball pregame and stuff like that. I'm like, "Whoa,
Yeah, this is
wow,
more like it.
young
That
Steven."
yeah, that the first 2 minutes of the song weren't so much, but that breakdown's worth listening to for sure.
Yeah. So,
I mean, this does
pretty
just kinda sound like I mean, not every, but, like, your general A Day to Remember song, like, they definitely have not strayed far from the formula. So,
yeah,
like,
but to be fair,
they know what
like, a lot
works
of
for
that's
them.
why you like a lot of bands, though. Like, I
Yeah,
know, like, I've
exactly.
said that about several bands where I'm like, "This just sounds like the typical music," but that's kinda, like, why you like a lot of bands is you can just go
Exactly, yeah,
like, Fall Out Boy,
I'm never
I can
one to,
crank
like
out
yeah, well, they're a case
old Fall Out
study.
Boy, like if I go to their first 5 albums, I can pick, like, any song in there, and I'll be happy with it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm never one to complain about a band changing sounds, especially if it's still a sound that I like. Like, Fall Out Boy
Yeah.
is definitely one of the shining examples of, like, when you just change sounds and it's all bad and you're making this, like,
Yeah.
weird pop rock sound, but, like, I if you stick with the same sound for your entire band's life, then and it's working, then I won't complain, especially if I like the band, and I like A Day to
You
Remember, so
found
it's not like
glory.
I'm complaining about their band sound being the same. I don't actually have anything bad to say about it, it's just
Yeah,
maybe
no.
it's not for me anymore, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, there's gonna be a little bit of a change to it where it kinda feels like they got I always think it's like, with a lot of the bands that we used to love when we were younger, is like the vocals and instrumentals just got a lot more cleaner and crisper,
Right.
and it just doesn't sound like such a thrashy
It's like that
I don't know.
unrefined garage band sound is what really draws you in to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah, and then they come out with their you've been listening to their old music forever, and then they come out with a new album, and you're like, "Alright, I'll give the whole album a listen to," and you're like, "Man, this is not it's
And,
not
like
what I was
and,
thinking."
like, back in the day, like I said, like, A Day to Remember would have been heavy music for me, that's, like if I listened to that and, if someone asked me what I listened to, and I was like, "Well, I'm listening to some heavy stuff right now," and I showed them today, I would at that point, I would have showed them A Day to Remember, but nowadays, that's not if I said that today, I would not show them A Day to Remember, I'd be like, "This is some pretty gentle this is just hard rock." So
I'm listening
maybe
to some heavy stuff.
yeah,
Disrespect your
I'm
surroundings.
too cool and edgy and hardcore to have A Day to Remember in my regular rotation anymore.
Yeah.
I my muscles are too big for that.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Same here, dude. I get that. I'm getting there at least. I'm not quite there.
But
The
I
muscles
I
part.
I feel like I'd still have to, like, quantify this or qualify this, but, like, I don't I'm not disliking this, like, this is definitely A Day to Remember music. They're making the same stuff they've always made in a good way, and it's not like a bad album, it's just if I'm gonna listen to, like, something with screaming and heavy riffs, I really wanna throw my neck out and be hurting for a couple
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I did enjoy this album overall, I did like it, and this Bad Blood Breakdown is is a good one. So moving on to
Yeah.
All My Friends. Okay, yeah, I remember this one. I wanted to say, like,
Yeah.
All My Friends is, like, one of those I love I love songs like this where it's, like, a good rock song that's, like it's got that nostalgia vibe, like, granted, this one's not, like, looking back, it's more like this me and my friends, like, we're just I have a good life with my friends, but, like, it just gives me that kind of nostalgia vibe of, like, the song it made me think of was, Those Nights by Skillet, where it's just in general, the Skillet song is, like, looking back on, like, those nights when we laid awake watching TV and just, like, life was so good back then, but, like, this is like I said, this is more of, like, my friends now, life is good now, but, like, it still had
Yeah.
that kind of vibe, like, it was a very like, a major chord and, like, very optimistic sounding, didn't get heavy. I like songs like this, they strike a chord in my soul.
Yeah. And that's definitely like I liked the vibe and the sound of this song, but it felt really like I was listening to the lyrics and it just gave me the vibe of like the dorks who think they're tough guys, and they're like,
Yeah, I
"Oh
thought the same
man,
thing.
the bar hates to see us walk through the door," and like all they do
Dude
is they
oh,
yell at
dude,
each other
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, it reminded me of that Instagram reel where it's, like, those 2 shirtless
Yes.
redneck dudes,
Yeah,
like,
with the
"I'd hate
monster
to be the"
tattoo.
yeah, "I'd hate to be the guy that messes with us." You think?
You think? I mean, and then he
That punches his hand. Oh my word,
that's
dude. That's the exact thing I thought
literally
of when I heard this.
yes, that's exactly what I thought of because it was like, I don't know, and then it had like the boys are listening to the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, stop. Yeah, it just kind of. I get what you're saying, like the nostalgia, and it was like, yeah, they're just singing a song about like, oh yeah, me and the boys were out having a good time, but it felt
Um,
like they hate to see us come in.
I will say they do have another song like this, All Signs Point to Lauderdale. Remember that
Yeah.
one? They have
Yeah. I hate
that's
this
another s
town.
yeah, that's the one, yep. They
Yes.
definitely have that vibe of, like, just me and my friends versus the world. But
Yeah.
I did like this song. As corny as the lyrics might have been, it's just a good feel-good rock song about
Yeah.
I love my friends.
Yeah. I'm hating too much for sure. It's yeah, it's them with their boys, but yeah. So,
And if I started a band with all my best friends, I'm sure I'd write 1 or 2 songs about it too.
yeah.
And my vocals would not sound as good as this, so I'll give them their credit.
Correct. And you know what? I've never hung out with them. I've never partied with them, so maybe they are those guys when they go out. It's
Maybe
like
they are, yeah.
things gonna get crazy. Who knows? But anyways, the next song, unfortunate that you don't have notes because I'll bet you probably don't have notes on this. I just To
I
the
don't.
Death is the next song.
Yeah,
I was just not a fan of it. I didn't think the intro was very good. Um hit I don't know, the chorus was okay. But the verse is just like I listened to it a couple times because I'm like, am I just hating because it's screaming? But I'm like, I listened to it several times and I'm like, man, just not for me, my dude. I don't
okay.
know.
I do remember thinking this one's more of a at least that first, like, minute or, like yeah, it just seems like more old school, A Day to Remember. Like, this one was definitely one of the heavier songs on the album, I remember, because
Yeah.
it is all
And
just
they've
it's
got
almost entirely just screaming, and it's just got
yeah,
that good A Day to Remember riff going in the background. So it definitely sounds like an old school A Day to Remember song, I'd say.
yeah. And they've got songs like that that I like. But I just this one, I don't know, just the scream I didn't think the screaming sounded good. It sounded I don't know, a
I
little
don't
off
know.
or something. I
Well,
don't know. Yo no
you're not
sé.
someone that really likes screaming, so
True. So I'm
I
probably
mean,
just gonna be
it
too.
just sounds like all their like this sounds like there's kinda screaming music.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound like
But
a
that's
like, it sounds like it would fit in with their discography pretty well.
yeah. But that's I mean, that's really unfortunately all the notes I had on that. So as you listen to it, did you have anything else?
The chorus is kind of I wouldn't say bland, but kinda basic maybe. I w I definitely more of a fan in this song specifically of the heavy parts and the screaming. The chorus is alright, but I think I'm
Yeah.
just glad that they included a song like this was really heavy and angry.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on,
Yeah.
I'm coming up on the breakdown. I bet I wish I would've I really wish I would've taken notes on this because this is the album I wanted to do, but I wanted to do one that you wanted to do because you suggested the
Ah,
Ghost Towns. Yeah, okay, yeah, the
yeah.
breakdown, yeah, that's a good breakdown right there.
Hey,
I like that.
language, man. This is a Christian podcast, probably. Guys, no,
It's still
but a little
PG-13,
bit.
I've only said it once.
True. So we've used it up.
But yeah,
So I can't
that's a
say butts or
good
poop.
breakdown into the outro right there, I like that. Yeah, this is a classic A Day to Remember song right here. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
That one I'm gonna go ahead and throw that one into the workout playlist,
Oh,
actually.
okay. Well, so I'll hear it again then. All right, because I still just use your workout playlist. I just use your lift heavy playlist.
I use my Lift Heavy playlist, and then Isaac, when I was home for Christmas, we were in the car listening to music, and he's like, "I really like music like this kinda sound." He's like, "I like the heavy music, but I don't like all screaming. I don't mind a little bit of screaming, but I like some of the clean vocals." So I made him, like, a whole, like, 7-hour playlist, and I'm still adding music to it, but I go to that one every once in a while for when I do my workouts, but there are some crossover songs there.
Yeah. You're such a good brother.
I am.
You're our music dad.
You s you said that in our game, I was like, "Aw, that means a lot."
Yeah,
I like that.
got the instant ad accolade from our music dad. All right. The next song, Flowers. Do you remember this one? Because I honestly would be kinda curious on your first impression of this, but if not, I can definitely just go for it because 'cause I've got notes on it. But
Um,
it's just one of their softer, more pop punk songs
yeah, it's definitely a pop
than.
punk song. It was almost borderline one of the songs I was talking about earlier, like the feel good, like just
Yeah,
not like the nostalgic feel good, but just like a happy song almost. Cause and I'm
yeah,
trying to listen to lyrics and think about things and listen to you at the same time. But like
yeah.
I don't know what were the lyrics about this? Like, give you flowers. Like, is that more of like a love song? Why is it so hard to pick up the
Um,
phone to tell someone you love them? You thought they should
it's
know.
yeah. I don't think it's like a love song as in I'm in love, but it's love as in you care about someone because it
Oh
talks
yeah.
about like I'm tossing you a lifeline, I'm reaching out, I'm tossing you a lifeline, respect earns respect. Don't you know that respect earns respect? Don't want to wait till the party's over to tell you
Oh
everything
yeah.
I should say
Mm-hmm.
sober. So it could be some love. I don't know. And then it says
Okay.
till they're dust in the wind, which just always makes me think about
Bill
Bill
and
and Ted's
Ted.
Excellent
Yep.
Adventure, which I know is it's from a song,
Yeah, it
Dust in the
is.
Wind,
I don't remember
but
which one, but yeah.
it's Dust in the Wind, isn't it?
Cause you don't know you left the good old days till they're dust in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
lyrically, reading through these lyrics, I'm clicking with it.
you're flicking with it,
Clicking with it. I like the
clicking with it.
yeah, it's just a good
Yeah.
song. Like
It
tell the
yeah.
people that you love them, because eventually you're gonna grow up and those memories are gonna be gone. Give your people their flowers while you can.
And there's definitely like a good amount of this like that in this play or album, there were several songs where it's like not just about the good old days, but looking back, like talking about people they miss. There's several songs like that. This is one of them. This song felt like for me, it was like 10 years ago, instant add to the playlist for
Right,
sure. Like
right.
this would have been so like I like the song. I'm not adding it to everything, but I thought the song was like the sound was real good, instrumentals, lyrics were good and things like that. The only thing around the 2 minute 20-second mark, it just like listening to the song, right? Upbeat, positive, more pop punk sound, and then like 2:20, it just goes like and just has a breakdown and then just goes back to the it felt so random and like they were worried. They're like, but the our metal-ish fans aren't gonna like this, so they're like, "We should just sprinkle some in," and it felt so random,
It
and then
is
just goes
random,
right
but
back to the
I can't say I hate it.
it
I
just
like
didn't feel necessary.
I like a good breakdown, and I like easy core breakdowns, and I like a day to remember breakdowns. So I guess I can't
I
hate
like a
it.
good breakdown.
I guess unnecessary is a good way to describe it, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
Also, there is a lyric in here that says, too many memories blur into one, except for the first time you told me you were proud that I'm your son." So maybe this is more of like
oh,
a letter
I
to his
missed that.
dad.
Hmm,
I mean, in general,
giving
apart from that line, it looks like in general, it's like we were saying, just like telling people you love that you love them. But that one seems
yeah,
specifically for like a parent.
yeah. So, it was good song, though, one of the better songs on the playlist,
Yeah.
but not the best. The best in my opinion, I don't know if you would remember which one is your favorite, but I think the next song, which was funny that it's called LeBron, which is
Oh yeah.
the GOAT,
Yeah.
but I liked this
That was gonna
song.
be
I
my
thought it was
joke. I
really
remember
catchy.
thinking about it while I was listening to it. I was gonna say, all right, the next song's called The Goat. Oh, excuse me, I misspoke. It's called LeBron.
Yeah, best song of all time.
The
The
best song
so
of all time.
greatest song of all time. But I thought this was one of my favorite on the song, and it's funny because I was like, I didn't realize that it was like called LeBron, and when I was first listening to it, like not focusing on the lyrics, I was like, man, this is like summer 2016 rock that I'd be listening to because that's like the goated summer, right? And like for me,
Mhm.
that's like this first summer I was out of high school, so I'm just having a good old
Is it really?
time.
That was your first summer out of high school?
Yeah,
Man,
I
what a
graduated
time to leave high
2016.
school. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so, like, literally just the goated summer, and I'm listening to this, and then it has the lyrics in the song where it's like, "Bring home another dub for my city and run like it's 2016 and I'm LeBron."
Mm.
But I liked it. It really I feel like the sound, I don't know, it didn't totally sound like typical, um, A Day to Remember, but still, I was digging the lyrics and the flow of the words and things like that.
Mhm.
Like, I thought the song sounded good. It was a good mood song. I don't know, man. I thought it
Yeah,
was
it's a good
I like the
feel-good
song. It was
song.
my favorite.
It was a more of their pop, like, borderline pop punk songs.
Yeah. You ever have, like, those songs where you're like, "This is just a summer song," you know?
Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the vibe this gave me.
Yeah, this is like a I guess just maybe the lyrics are leaning towards it and the feel-good vibe of it, but, like, it's another to me, in my head, it's kind of like one of those nostalgic, like, "Oh, yeah, this feels good. This is, like, something
Yeah.
I listened to back in the day.
Yeah. Well, and
Windows down, I'm
anytime there's, like, a
cruising."
yeah, and when there's a song with, like, a crowd chanting or, like, echoing in the background or something, always gives me summer vibes too, because it makes me feel like a concert
Right.
at, like, people cheering at, like, a festival or something, so,
Was
like,
there a
singing
breakdown
along
in
at a
this one?
festival.
Like, just a random breakdown?
Um, I don't remember there one, at least not one that was noteworthy enough to me to
There's a small one. It's not really even a breakdown because it just goes into they just yell because it's not worth winning if you can't win big, and then they just do the same riff that they had the whole song. So it's not
yeah,
quite a
so
breakdown.
yeah, so I don't know. Good. The lyrics, the chorus kind of makes me feel like someone singing a rap song, like bringing home another dub for my city and
Yeah,
run like
you
it's
don't normally
2016
get
and I'm LeBron.
sports references in rock songs.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, not didn't give me typical A Day to Remember vibes, just because it feels more like a rap song. The lyrics do
Right.
so. But yeah, so good song, my favorite on the album for sure.
Okay. Interesting choice, but I guess not terribly surprising.
Hey man, I'm entitled to my opinions.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
All right. Speaking of song, like we were. Oh no. I've got I just did my notes out of order. Did I?
I was gonna say we
Oh,
can't
no,
have
I just yeah,
we
I was swiping through the songs, and I guess I had accidentally swiped past "Die
I
for
was gonna
Me," and I was
say we
like,
can't have 2
I was
people without notes on "Die
yeah.
for Me."
But speaking yeah, speaking of songs talking about, the past, that's what "Die for Me" is about, because it
Okay.
starts off with I think it starts right off, but it says it multiple times through the song, the "Took an oath signed in blood, and now we don't even speak." Like, I thought I liked that lyric because it is, like, you think of all these, like, your friends that you were, like, ride or die friends, you hung out with them all the time, your
Mhm.
best friends, and I'm like, I don't talk to just about any of my high school friends. Like, there's a couple that I occasionally talk to,
Mhm.
1 or 2 that I talk to, and then most of them I don't talk to at all. It's
Yeah.
crazy, to look back on that. So, and that's kind of the vibe, like, this song was a little more serious about that with, like, the you know, um, took an oath signed in blood, and now we don't even speak. Like, I don't know if they were, like, talking marriage or something, because remember what you said that you would die for me, a promise made is a promise kept, cross your heart and hope for death. Like, I'm like, is this, like, this guy's, like, talking, like, real
Yeah, my first
m
instinct was it almost sounds like a breakup song, but the way you're describing it also works. Like,
yeah,
you got those ride or die friends and
yeah,
just because of life, not like you had a falling out or anything.
yeah,
Although it
yeah,
sounds like in the song, it sounds like maybe there was maybe a bit of a falling out, like
yeah,
some fake friends
he
or
definitely
whatever.
did.
But, like,
Yeah,
um, my first thought was kind of a breakup song, but yeah. What was it that, some yeah, I guess just the remember when you said that you would die for me, walk through fire, burn alive, and for me, the chorus is really catchy. I do like this song. It's a really catchy song. And
yeah.
I guess in my head, it just sounded like a breakup song maybe, but it works on both levels, I think.
It's got that weird synth sound, that me sound in it.
Mhm.
That was annoying me though throughout the song. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being critical because you gotta. That's what this podcast is just talking in depth about not super in depth, but talk detailed talks
Yeah, I mean,
about
it's not
each
like we
song.
know
So
Toots or anything.
yeah. So I I thought the song was okay. It just was definitely very, um, excuse me, very down in
Dude,
the like a Bummerville.
speaking of, like, friends from the past, just total sidebar here, but the other night, like, Wednesday night, I had this dream, and I don't really remember what happened. I just remember that, like, there were a ton of people from my past, like, people that I haven't, like, talked to or, like, thought about in a long time, just, like, people that I knew who like, I definitely knew who they were in the dream. Like, there was, like, people from high school, people from college, like, family
Hmm.
members, and then, like, people that I worked with when I lived in North Carolina. There was one guy specifically that I worked with in North Carolina, and I just woke up being like, "Whoa, that was weird, like, why were all those people there? I haven't thought about them in forever." And then I go into work that day on this job site, and there's this dude there that looks almost exactly like the guy that I dreamed about from North Carolina, and, like, I almost wanted to say
Weird.
something to him, cause like, it was like, he had the same build, he's like a tall dude with, like, a bigger, stocky, kinda almost overweight kinda build, but just, like and he had, like, the bald head and the goatee and everything. I was like, "Whoa, this is kinda trippy." Like, I almost wanted to say something to him. I probably should've just texted the guy that I used to work with, been like, "Wow, hey, man, just hope everything's going well. A lot of signs pointing to you, apparently." But, like
Yeah.
yeah, that was a strange, moment.
Hmm. Did you take an oath for that guy in
Well, I
North
mean, we
Carolina?
did work in the prison, so our lives kind of depended on each other in a sense.
Yeah. Whoa, dude. So this song's about you.
Yeah, that's the 3rd sign, lucky number 3 right there. Maybe I should text him,
You
see what's
should
up.
date him.
I should if he
All
wasn't a
right.
married man, maybe I would, but I'm not a
Uh,
homewrecker.
that's never stopped you before.
Oh, it
Married
has.
men
I'm
have
not a
never stopped you.
homewrecker, Steven. I respect the
Okay.
sanctity of marriage
Amen, brother. All right. Speaking of sanctity of marriage, the next song is called Miracle. That
because
song.
it's a miracle if you
Um,
can find someone that you can marry.
yeah.
Okay, I
This
will say
song,
this song was a single, so I am more familiar with this song. This was one of the singles they released. I
nice.
like this song. This is a good
All
heavy
right,
A Day
take
to
it away.
Remember song. I mean, I don't have much to
Yeah.
say outside of it other than that. I really like the breakdown because I'm not waiting for a miracle. Da 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 da. Or
Yeah.
however the breakdown goes. I don't have it memorized, but you know what I'm saying.
I think Dun was right. I remember that.
And I like the chorus, like, even, like, this I feel like I keep contradicting myself because it's not like I hate clean vocals on a chorus, even in heavy music, like, I definitely like clean vocals, but
Yeah.
and so I really like the chorus on this one, but I think the whole song clicked really well, and I guess that's probably why they released it as a single because they knew it was one of their best ones, but, yeah, this one did it for me.
Yeah. I said this is one of the better songs on the album as well. It wasn't like it was even specifically like noteworthy to me. I didn't have a bunch of notes on it. It just felt like a good I said rock for the genre.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just a good rock song. You know, if you just want to throw on some rock and this came up in the playlist, you'd still be jamming.
Yeah.
It's kind of the vibe, so definitely one you could throw into the rock playlist. But that's all I mean, that's really all I'm glad you had notes on it too because like I said, I thought it was a good song, but it's solid musically and lyrically. But yeah, that's all I got for it, man.
Ooh, I
Sorry.
like that. Where they scream, "The no weapon formed against me shall prosper." What did he say? Oh, gosh dang it, pull up the lyrics. No
No
weapon
weapon
formed
formed against me
against
shall prosper.
my will is stronger, and then into the breakdown. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
got a
that's a
whole
good that's a good classic A Day to Remember breakdown right there.
yeah. And that's a good
That is
classic
something I'd
day to
throw down
remember
to in the mosh
line.
pit with a fresh thigh
Yeah.
tattoo.
With the fresh yeah.
Dude, I
'Cause didn't yours, like, fall off, like, instantly, or it got, like
the plastic did. The plastic was, like, halfway off by the time I was done with A Day to Remember, and blood's running
yeah,
down my leg. I was like, as long as no one sees us, they're not gonna freak out."
yeah. As long as I don't tell anyone that you have AIDS,
Yeah, as
you'll be
long as no one
fine.
knows that I get spread HPV around the concert venue, we're fine.
Yeah. So, and I think we're fine. So, of
Yeah.
course,
No one ever said
Mr.
anything to me.
Incarceration is probably listening to this playlist or this podcast, and now we're screwed.
And, JK kidding, I don't have HPV. I actually don't even know what that is. I just know it's some sort of blood transmitted disease. I think it's an STD.
I think it's go-karting.
It's go-karting? Oh, okay, never mind, I'm wrong then.
Oh,
It is
anyways.
human papillomavirus infection, an infection that causes
Ew.
warts in various parts of the body depending on the strain.
Don't
It is the most
don't tell
commonly
me this.
sexually transmitted infection. I was right. Boom. Big brain over here.
S-
I know my STDs.
Stop this. Stop this. Rob, you know, is this podcast we do know
We do know
STDs, or is it we
STDs.
don't know Toots? We
It can
do
be
know
both. Those
STDs.
don't directly contradict each other. They can be both.
See our sister podcast, we do know STDs. Anyways, next song is a song called Same Team. Dude, this is like one where I listened to this song like today. I listened to it 3 times in a row. I listened to it multiple times. I'm like, I feel like I should be liking this song because I'm listening to it. I got nothing out of this song. Like, lyrics are fine, instrumentals are fine, the song was fine, but I'm like listening to it and I'm like, I don't know, it just
Yeah.
didn't really sink its chompers into my old sound sniffers, which
Yeah,
are my ears.
I was kind of getting the same vibe, honestly. Like, it seems like a good song, but it's nondescript in a way. I'm looking at this album art, by the way. Dude,
Mhm.
so if you look at the album art, you see Jeremy with his back turned and he's turned around over his shoulder looking at you. And then to the right, you've got the guy in like the black puffer jacket.
Yeah.
And then over that guy's shoulder, there's that dude's face with the slick back hair. That looks like Schmidt from New Girl.
That's what I was thinking, bro. I've been thinking that this whole time looking at this album.
Not that that has any bearing on the album, but that's very distracting for us New Girl fans who do know New Girl.
Us new girlies.
We know New Girl. We do know
I do
New
know
Girl.
New Girl, actually. I've watched it quite a bit, but yes, dude, I kept thinking that same thing. Oh my gosh.
Like a spitting image. Like I imagine
S-
that's probably one of the band members if his face is that
I would
close to
think
the
so.
front, but like I would think so.
Yeah, I would think that group of 4 right there at the front.
Maybe oh what's his name? Max something? Max Greenfield?
Let's
Yeah, Max Greenfield. Maybe he daylights as a data or moonlights as a data remember character or member.
well, I'm looking at the pictures on the their Spotify of their band. So it looks like if you're looking at the same picture as me, the guy all the way on the left in the black cutoff jean vest with the black t-shirt underneath, but
That might
yeah,
be him. That
I
does
can't
not
tell
look
though
as
because the
much like
line
Schmidt.
correct, it does
It looks like
not.
a
But
metalcore version of Schmidt.
metalcore Schmidt tattoos, Schmidt all
I'd
tatted up.
I'd watch that episode.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Silence. The next song.
All right.
So I personally I like this song, which I don't know if that'll surprise you just because it's a heavy song. It's got like a good grovelly is, I don't know if that's a word, grovelly sound. I like at the beginning because it starts chill at the beginning and quiet, and then it just drops into that heavy destroy your cornerstone, and then just starts ripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like because I liked the destroy your cornerstone, tear out the heart of those atop the pedestal. Like, I thought that was a really cool, like, very uh anti-authoritarian line like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that would, like, silence will no longer suffice. So I liked that lyric. I liked that breakdown where it says now there's nowhere you can run, and it has that run.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
This is
So
good. Got some good like power metal parts to it. A little bit, like you said, like a
yeah.
anti-establishment kind of message to it. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
I was listening to it at the gym today, and so like that when that Destroyer Cornerstone bit hits, like, it really does get you kinda like, "Yeah, this is pretty sick." Just a heavy not like a fast heavy, like, slow, heavy. Yeah,
This
I
it's
thought it was a
definitely got a
really
good
cool
slow
song.
build to it. I like it. It's a very
Yeah,
well-made song.
yeah,
And
so,
I like
definitely
again, I like the breakdown. I like the like a thief with a hand in the wishing well, betrayer, we caught you, then the blade fell right into the breakdown. That's a cool setup.
yeah. Like, I'd say this is would be my other favorite on the album, this song is just a cool sound, man. I like that deep, like, them not singing, more like chant singing, like,
Yeah, it almost
"Destroy
sounds
your
like
corners."
like a 90s, 80s or 90s metal. Like, it almost kinda sounds like some of that original or not maybe not even 90s, like Pantera is what it's kinda reminding me of. It's kinda got, like,
Mhm.
that power metal sound to it. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, this closes out the album here with "Closer Than You Think." Wait.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I was just making sure I did not miss. "Closer Than You Think." This is another song, this is, like, another upbeat, happier song, I think not, like, happier, like, the vibe it's just more upbeat,
It's
like,
got
the vibe is more pop
yeah,
punky.
got another one of those major chord sounds to it. It doesn't have the minor
Yeah,
chord where it's, like, sad sounding.
yeah, but I thought it was like, the lyrics are more sad because it just at least the impression I got, it was just more like they're seeing someone they care about hurting, so and there was nothing they could do about it was the vibe I was getting from the song,
Okay.
but it doesn't have a random weird breakdown that doesn't match the rest of the song, so that helps as well, but it's I don't know why, like, not what I would have expected for a final song on an album, like, if they are trying to be intentional about the last song. I don't know which song I would choose for that, but this wasn't it. This feels like a mid-album song, but
Okay.
it's one of the better song in my opinion, just because I'm more of a pop punk fan than I am, like, the hardcore kinda stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that I always end up gravitating during these episodes, I always end up gravitating towards,
Yes,
uh,
yeah.
these
I get
these
why you say
songs,
that. I like,
but
looking at the lyrics here, 'cause it sounds like he's trying to help friends through, like, a hard time, and again, kinda sounds like a breakup song maybe. He says, "No, there's nothing quite like the first time your heart breaks. You asked, 'How long am I gonna feel this way?' You know, I can't say." I don't know. Those lyrics click with me because obviously I've been through that before. That's very relatable lyrics, and you
yeah.
just you never know.
Mhm.
Happy to say we're moving past that point in my life, so but, like,
I'm
there's
proud
still
of
that
you.
part of me that knows that especially, like, maybe just a couple years ago, this song would've hit even harder, but yeah, I like it. I like the
Yeah.
vibe on this song.
Yeah. So it felt just with it being like a I don't know, like a sad breakup-ish, watching someone get hurt as like an ending to the album because like there were definitely those songs on this album, but it had a lot this album had more of a positive note than a lot of the albums we've done in it. I feel like. Like it definitely had like the bummer songs, but it had a lot more positive songs in it too
Yeah,
than a lot of the
yeah,
albums we've done recently. Which comes with the territory with rock and punk rock and stuff like that
yeah,
anyways, but yeah,
that
so
is true.
but yeah, so Tutors, there you have it. There's big ol' album, right? Yeah, big ol' album, Vol.1. So stay tuned for Vol.2 whenever that may come out. What if this was their final album? They're like, "Psych, you
Got
thought
you
we fooled
good.
you, you big boobs, you thought." But you've got it there. Vol.1, definitely a solid background rock kind of, you know, something to throw on because I was out working in the garage when I threw it on and I was kind of jamming. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, I'd say there's not like if you played this album front to back and just let it play, there's not one song you're gonna be like, "Oh, this sucks. Skip
yeah,
this." You'll
yeah,
enjoy the listen for sure, and if you like, if you like A Day to Remember in general, you like the album.
yeah.
Even
It's
if you
worth a
like,
listen
their
if you're
older
a
stuff more, it's
yeah.
definitely a good A Day to Remember album.
Yeah, if you're an ADTR fan. You've been listening to him for a while. You definitely got to give this a listen through. But so I guess Rob will close it out with some music recommendations. So
Alright,
I've got mine if you want mine.
go for it.
All right. You might see this eventually someday, but I'm gonna give it now because I keep going to this, but it's a no lyrics to this song. It technically has some vocals in the back or whatever, but not really. It's called Pale Blue Dot by Big Wild. I know they're a
Oh,
fairly
yeah, I like Big
popular.
Wild.
Yeah, I know they're fairly popular. But dude, like I don't know, I just this song like is just a
They
vibe.
got
Like if
a
you're just kind of
yeah, that
chilling there,
vibey, atmospheric
yeah,
EDM, not dance music, but, like, electronic music. Yeah.
yeah. It feels like if I was seeing like if I was like on top of like I had just done like a cool hike, not strenuous hike, but just a really cool hike up to like the top of this mountain or overlook or something. And then
Mhm.
just as the sun is rising up when this song is playing, that's the vibe
Mm.
the
That's
song gives. So
beautiful.
definitely a very cool song. I really like it. This kind of vibe of the song. I have a couple other songs like this. And I'm like, all right, I got to make a playlist that just kind of gives me like, because it puts me in a good mood, just puts me in a relaxed mood almost, you know? So
Bro, I bet I got
Pale
a
Blue Dot,
playlist or
Big
2 I could
Wild.
give you.
Okay, okay. All right, Rob, what you got?
Alright. I again, also, you might see this one at some point. Hold on, let me find it again. Iridescent by Hundredth. Hundredth, when I first found them, I found their, like, heavier stuff. They have, like, a whole lot of sounds, I think. I've never given them a full listen to, but Hundredth had when I found them, they were kinda heavier. I have some of their songs in my workout playlist, but this one is, like, more like, has, like, an '80s sound to it, like a like, atmospheric pop rock sound to it. Kinda gives me that '80s vibe to it. Um, but yeah, it's very chill. It's not heavy at all. And I've been trying to find a reason
Okay.
to use it in our game, but hasn't happened yet. But you might see it eventually.
All right. So there you have it, tutors. Much appreciated for you stopping by, lending your ear to our lips.
And I'm
So,
sorry my lips weren't better prepared for your ears this week. That's on
yeah,
me.
that's on us. Yeah, that was
A
communication
miscommunication in
error.
the front office.
Yeah, so that's definitely
Our
a
producer needs to
workflow.
be better about that, I think. We're gonna have to have a
Yeah,
talk with
we
him.
so and costs us about $10,000 per hour that we talk to him, so we gotta be selective with that, just because that's where we're at now with our
Yeah.
podcast. So, we'll get with you. We'll get with him, and hopefully it'll be better for you in the future, but if you wanna check out the new I don't even remember what the album by The Ghost Town was, but
Almost
it
home.
was yeah, it was not bad, it's just more country than we usually do, that's why I
It's
wasn't
like,
sure if you'd wanna
yeah,
do it.
it's
I know it's starting to
country
happen for
slash
you.
southern rock.
Yeah. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Steven Schultz, joined by Rob Schultz,
That's
and
me.
we'll catch you later.
See ya.